I'm Lauren Maloney. Thanks for being here tonight. The governor and Vermont's public safety commissioner say they are standing by the actions state and local police took 1 week ago tonight when ICE agents raided a home in South Burlington. They argue police were there to protect protesters and ICE agents really from each other and say their actions prevented tensions from getting much worse. ABC 22's Matt Holderman continues following this story as he was on scene last Wednesday. He joins us now live in the newsroom. Matt, what else was said in this interaction today?
Right, Lauren. Well, Governor Scott and Commissioner Jennifer Morrison reminded everyone that there are still multiple investigations going on regarding the event, so they are not saying for certain that state and local police did everything correct that night. But today's news conference got heated in a few moments where the governor and commissioner took issue with some questions that were being asked by reporters.
They had a warrant from a federal judge to enter the building. You agree?
I agree.
Okay. And do you agree that we can impede a federal action?
I agree, but I also think that
Then what choice do we have?
Tense moments unfolding between reporters and members of the Scott administration Wednesday as the fallout of last week's ICE raid and ensuing riots in South Burlington, along with actions taken by state and local police and protesters on scene, still has all sides asking a lot of questions and trying to gather accurate info on exactly what happened. There was this interaction involving Boston Globe and former VT Digger reporter Paul Heinz.
For every person who saw those actions in South Burlington and have the filter on it that you appear to be coming at it with, Paul,
excuse me?
The questions were making pre-assumptions of what...
I'd appreciate if you could make assumptions about...
Okay, I'll make no assumptions. For every person...
Governor Scott and Commissioner Morrison stood firm in their latest answers, saying when Vermont State Police walked up to the front door of the house, pushing and pulling protesters out of the way, they were doing it to protect everyone, both protesters and ICE agents, and ensure the rule of law was being followed, especially knowing other ICE raids and anti-ICE riots around the country have turned deadly.
We chose to protect the ICE agents from the protesters and the protesters from the ICE agents because we knew, as I just said to you, that they were going in come hell or high water.
Knowing there will soon likely be more ICE operations and protests in Vermont, the pair says they are reviewing everything that happened and will hold local and state police who acted out of line accountable. They also say they'll be in touch with federal officials and hope to get warnings before future operations happen. But ICE did not show them that kind of courtesy this time around.
There's going to be probably future events. We want to make sure that we keep protesters who want to be there peacefully be safe.
Now, of course, there is a lot more still to unpack here and a lot more that will be unpacked at the State House tomorrow. Commissioner Morrison and leaders of all involved state and local police agencies will be going in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee to answer questions and discuss just what they've learned in their investigations so far. We will have coverage of that meeting here tomorrow night. For now, reporting live in the newsroom, Matt Holderman, ABC 22 News.